Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Irish Fantasy Punts. Dan, Shane, Jamie with you for another week of fantastic football news. Lads, say hello.
What's correct, lads? How are we getting on?
I'm very depressed there.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, since Nick Chubb went down, it hasn't been great for me fantasy-wise. It's been a tough year so far. I feel like all the years I'm getting lately are tough.
Oh, he's off already. There you go.
Yeah. Fucking soundboard McGee over here.
They knock you out of your train of thought there.
No, not really. No, I didn't really have one.
It's more depression than sighing.
Like all of your analysis, there's no real train of thought. It's just the mindless
passion.
wandering train.
Pure passion is what it is.
Passion. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
We need to get finished here before this United game starts for you as well. Who are you playing tonight?
Whoa. I'm committed to the cause, man. No, I had no bothers. We're doing this for you. Don't be putting this on me. Hey, we're kicking off at 8 o'clock. I'm depressed enough as it is. I don't need to watch us play to make me feel any worse. We're about to get bet by, like, I don't know, we're playing Galatasaray, I think. We're about to get bet by fucking Galatasaray.
Surely not get beat by Galatasaray, surely.
We're playing Johnny Evans at centre half, man.
No.
We're going to get bet.
Did you watch any of that Toy Story game on Sunday morning?
I did. It was unreal.
That looked really cool, didn't it?
It was class.
It was so glitchy at the start. Like, there was at least 20 plays that were missed at the start, and the claw machine was just dumping the ball everywhere.
No, I seen it when it got good already. It was like Bijan's little run that they had in there. That was good. I seen Trevor Lawrence's run, and there was like 2 other plays. I can't remember what they were though. But I see a couple of plays there out of it. It was good.
Yeah, like someone on Twitter was like, "It's not amazing what the NFL can do with their technology these days." And then to measure 10 yards, they use stick and chains. Like,
Yeah, they should really replace that stick and chain with Slinky Dog all the time.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Imagine Slinky Dog on the sideline.
They should surely have computers for that by now, though, to do the line, the chain work. Like, sure, even in the Premier League, they have the goals, like.
For sure, like even with the way that the TV do with the you have your blue line for the line of scrimmage and then the yellow line for the yardage to gain, like surely there is some sort of technology out there now. Like all the big massive stadiums are like Dallas, SoFi, all them have the big huge screens. Is there no way they could just put projectors to shoot it down onto the to the actual field and be like, everywhere. This is the line you need?
It'd be like what you call it in the tennis when they have the you know that it like zooms into the exact location the ball hit at the time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I thought Shane was going to burn me there for the tennis reference.
No, all right. You have enough going on your mind now tonight, buddy. I don't need to be burning you anymore. Much you're going to get burned.
Just the standard amount.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hit the big boys of the week then. Let's review our fantasy football week. So at the quarterback position, Jamie managed to just about win a match with Josh Allen, even though he had 45 points. I put Fields on my bench, so I lost out those points. Richardson, followed by Lamar Jackson, and then Baker Mayfield rounding off the top 5. Cool. Anything of interest to talk about there?
No, good to see Richardson back, and he's really shown. Like Richardson is the Justin Fields this year. Like he's that breakout star, can use his legs, but the difference is Richardson can actually see a pass as well. Now I know he struggled, and he really struggled. Michael Pittman owners are going to completely disagree with me, but he looks good. Like he looks like just a bigger, better version of Justin Fields.
Yeah, he does. He does look quite good to be fair to him. Like, like if you did pick him up, you're probably delighted.
Hmm.
The only worry I'd have is he's going to hurt himself. He seems to get hurt all the time.
Yeah, that's the same worry he had with Justin Fields last year as well. Like, isn't it? Like, he eventually did go down. What did Fields got? He got like 6 games last year of like unbelievable production. Then like went down, missed the game, came back, and he wasn't right for like the rest of the year. Last 3 games of the season, he was terrible.
The only problem with Richardson is he's just so like physically brutal with all of his runs. If you know, like he looks like he's just trying to smash lads.
That's what you get when you're like, what is he, like 250 pound? He's about that. Like, he's a big boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not small anyway.
It's not like Kyler Murray trying to use them little gnome legs to run past people, or like in Lamar, who's like slinky. He's just in and out, fucking tackles. Like, he was there 1 minute, gone the next.
Kyler Murray looks like that alien in Looney Tunes where the feet are just going like that constantly as he's running.
The little Martian.
Yeah, what the hell? Running back position, Christian McCaffrey, number 1 with 45 points.
Yeah,
everyone who has Christian McCaffrey won this weekend. David Montgomery, 33. Jesus. It's Eric Henry back to form with 26. Devon A-Chain with another strong performance. And then Kyron Williams rounding off the top 5. Who do we want to talk about here?
Honorable mention maybe for Josh Jacobs, and all his owners can breathe a sigh of relief as he gives 6th.
Yeah.
Yes. Exhale.
Talking about boys who run funny. Did you see Pacheco scored that touchdown the other night? It just looked like he was just running as hard as possible, but going absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I did. I watched that back. It was like the dude was moving so fast, but just not really moving.
Not, like, yeah, it was really weird.
I don't even understand how you can run like that.
He scored, so
yeah.
Confuse
the defense.
We'll give props to my sit of the week, A-Chan. No,
yeah,
that was a call.
Forever humble, Jamie. Forever humble.
I'll put my hands up. That was a bad call.
If you put him on the bench again this week, it might be a bad call.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so good, doesn't he? Like, he's so fast, and he's just incredibly quick in and out of his breaks. He looks like a real star in the making. Like,
looks very good. Yeah.
The wide receivers, AJ Brown had a big week, 34. There was a lot of very big weeks for players this week, wasn't there? Stephon Diggs, 33. Nico Collins, Jamie's boy, 32. Puka had a 27, and then Justin Jefferson at 24.
No real surprises there other than Nico Collins. Like, Puka at this stage, you're kind of expecting him. Now, maybe with Cooper Kupp is maybe due back this week. We're not sure yet, but if he doesn't come back, I'd expect Nakua to keep up this kind of pace. But Nico Collins is probably the only jump out surprise that's up there. Like, the rest of those guys, like Brown, Diggs, Jefferson, they're the kind of weeks you're expecting. Well, not expecting 30 points a week, but you're expecting them to be the top guys every week. Like, so Nico Collins, brilliant week, and Nakua, I'd expect him to be kind of there and thereabouts every week now, as long as Cooper Kupp doesn't play.
But even so, you can't imagine they'll just take Nakua off straight away when Kupp comes back. He seems to be that good, like, doesn't he?
No, but he's not going to get, like, well, what's his targets? No. His 10 targets, 9 catches, 163 yards. Like, that's a Cooper Kupp game. That's not like, if anyone's going to have that game for the Rams when Kupp is there, it's going to be Kupp. It's not going to be Nakua.
No,
like, unless they're throwing for 500 yards in a game, he's not having that game when Kupp is there. Like, I just can't see it. Kupp is going to be the primary receiver there. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. I just don't think he'll drop off as dramatically. I don't think he'll be that kind of volume, but surely he'll still be all right.
Oh, he'll 110% be relevant. Like, I'm not saying he won't be relevant. Like, I'd be expecting Nakua to go back. His regression from what he has been doing Like I'm expecting like 12 to 15 points still a week.
Yeah.
Like I'm still expecting him to get maybe 6 targets, 5 catches, in around that kind of 5 to 6, not even targets. We say 5-6 catches in a game. If he can hit 60, 70 yards in a game, get a score every second week, you're laughing He's still extremely relevant to that.
I think they activated Cooper Kupp's practice window, didn't they? I think he has like 21 days to come back now or something like that.
Yeah, so look, you're on a ticking time clock with Nacua. I know in our own league, the Nacua owner put him up for trade. Just I'd say he's expecting that regression to come in. He's trying to see how high he can sell him. And I'd say he'll have a good bit of that going on around the place. And hey, if your team is solid enough to get rid of Nacua, which he was only a free agent pickup in every league going, I'd say you're probably all right with dropping him. So trade for what you can. See who'll buy him high.
Tight ends, Cole Kmet with a big game at 24 points. Mark Andrews back on form with 23. Jonnu Smith really rubbing it in there to all the Pitts owners with 13 points. Ogletree with 12. And then the Dr. Schultz coming in with 12 points. It only took a trick play from Singletary to take all my CJ Stroud points and throw it to Dalton Schultz, which was great.
Yeah, that was a bit of a double whammy for you, wasn't it? Last week you said Schultz, you were like, "Oh, I wouldn't have a president of Schultz." I mean, I'm just done with Schultz now. He rubbed it in, getting into the top 5 in tight ends for the week, and his touchdown stole your quarterback points.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that.
Sure, look, tight end of the week.
Well, Cole Kmet was tight end of the week for Justin Fields, who was on my bench.
Yeah.
Tight ends did not do me any good this week, really, did they?
Yeah, but you won anyway, didn't you? You won your matchup this week in our league.
Yes, but I could have won by more.
Yeah, but you also beat like the worst scorer of the week, didn't you?
Yeah, I scraped by now, it has to be said this. I think I got like 109, which is decent for our scoring format, but it was still touch and go there.
Right. So far, I think every week, for like the way we usually score, like you kind of want to be, you're going to be between 100 to 110 is a good week. Like that's solid week. Like you could beat a lot of 50-50 games with that in our league. But this year, I think every week for the first 4 weeks, we've had someone hit above 140. I think at least one person in the league is hit above 140 each week, which is insane.
Your defenses, the Seattle Seahawks absolutely killed Daniel Jones. So they had 32 points. I don't know if anyone played them, but I think from now on we'll be targeting Giants games. The Dallas Cowboys with 28 points. Mac Jones and the Patriots absolutely terrible. Jacksonville beat up on the Falcons and their no pass offense. The Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens made a rookie look quite bad.
Yeah, I would have thought that Cleveland just would have run the ball a bit more. Like Kareem Hunt had 5 carries in the game. Pierre Strong had 1, I think, and Jerome Ford had like 8 carries or something in the whole game. Like they actually tried to just go through the quarterback, which made no sense to me. Like that first 2 drives that they had, there should have been they had 10 plays on one, I think, and 12 on the other. Should have been out of that. They should have passed it maybe 4 times and ran it the rest of the time. Like just the dude was terrible. Like just why pay Kareem Hunt $4 million to come back to sit in your bench and not do anything? He was one of the best running backs like 3 years ago. It makes no sense.
Is he just washed?
Ease the man in, Joe.
Jamie, he was our kicker.
Oh, our kicker.
Kicker of the week, bud. Kicker of the week.
I was very nearly angry at kickers this week, right? Because going into the last game, I had like Kelsey versus the Seahawks kicker, and Kelsey only got like 9 points. And I was like, if I get beat by a kicker, I was like, I'm moving to Dan's side. The
crowd likes it, Jamie. Come to the dark side.
But I didn't. So the kicker of the week is Jake Elliott for the Eagles. Now you can do your applause again.
That was actually a good game as well. I have to, as a Cowboys fan, it was nice to see the Eagles sweat in that game. I thought the Commanders played very well, and it was the biggest shock of the whole weekend. I think was the Washington Commanders with Riverboat Ron scored on the last drive of the game, and he just said, "I will go to overtime." Riverboat Ron doesn't go to overtime. He either loses it or he wins it. Should have been a 2-point conversion. He should have had a 2-point conversion.
There was a worse one when Matt Eberflus, instead of kicking the field goal at 4th and 1, decided he was going to go for it with his running back. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Lost that game.
Yeah, well, look, that wasn't like Riverboat Ron made the right decision probably to kick it and try win it in overtime. But like, it's just not a Riverboat Ron thing to do. Like, it's not what we love him for. It's not what he's known for. Just goes for it.
We'll move on to the matchups. That ended very abruptly. I took a couple more seconds of Mario Kart so I could get these matchups up. Someone do some sort of tactic so that I can get away to get week 5. I'm here. Everyone calm down.
I was pretty calm about the whole thing.
All right.
We have a question there, Dan, before you want to start. It probably came up like 2 minutes ago and I just left your stew anyway.
You could have gotten use that for the whole trade through. All right. Would you trade away JT for DK? 8-team PPR, 3-1. RBs are Bijan, Saquon, Taylor, Moss, Kyron, Pierce, White, Hall. Wide receivers are Waddle, Pittman, Pickens, and Flowers.
Yeah, I think you have enough depth at running back to probably do it, but like for me, I think if you've had JT this long, like Moss is, if JT comes in and he just takes over, Moss is going to go down to about 30% snap percentage, I would say. JT is going to take over running that whole offense nearly, so Moss becomes basically irrelevant. So you're going between Kyron, Pierce, Brees, Saquon, who's injury problems, and Bijan. You still have enough backs to get you through. You could probably make the trade. DK is a solid 10-point a week receiver.
Is Jonathan Taylor, has he come out and said anything yet?
No, the Colts have come out and said that they are activating him off the pup list this week. So he is already in training as far as I know. So he'll be in. Yeah, he's not. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. So he should be ready to go this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think you trade him away now. Like if you have him, you hold him for this week.
You at least wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, because if he does what JT does best, and like you're not trading him away, are you?
No, yeah. If he explodes, like you're losing the trade. Like if JT comes back and he's JT from 2 years ago, because last year he wasn't he was still good last year, but he wasn't. He had a lot of down games. You were the JT owner in our league, Dan, last year. He wasn't. He didn't do you any favors a lot of weeks, did he? And then he had the occasional big week. So, like if he goes back to, like if he goes back to JT from 2 years ago, I think you're losing that trade. But if you don't say that, I lost Chubb and he's my only other running back.
For anyone just listening to the audio, someone posted in the chat that JT is still holding out for a trade. Yeah, I'm looking online now to see anything about this.
Like, don't send him to Baltimore. That's a terrible idea. Baltimore's where running backs go to die, apparently. Don't send them there.
Him and Justice Hill on a 50-50. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I take him, like, the Vikings, for me, would be like a perfect landing destination for him, but they weren't willing to pay Cook. But Cook is a good bit older than JT. Like, what's JT? JT's only 24, is he? 25?
Probably around that. To be honest, just wait till tomorrow. Just wait till you see the practice reports tomorrow and you'll get more of a gist of this. Because you'll definitely get Jonathan Taylor news tomorrow, whether he's planning on waiting for the trade or whether he's actually going to play for the Colts.
Like, what are the Colts realistically? Like, if they're saying, right, look, we're not going to pay you. Well, if they're not going to pay him, they don't obviously value him enough, right, to pay him. they're saying like, look, it's a bad strat. We've seen it not work for other teams. So if you're not going to pay him and you don't value him, how can you say, oh no, but we want a number one for him? Like, and we don't just want a 1, we like want a 1 and a 3, or we want a 1 and a 2.
Irsay is just mad. Like he's just
But it's stupid. You can't do that. Like if you're not willing to pay him, you have to be willing to take like a 3rd or a 2nd for him. Like, and that's just it. Like that's just not even the fact that I have him this year. Like, because if he doesn't come back, I'm playing in mind that he's not coming back. That's the way I'm playing, right? If he comes back, it's a big bonus.
It's like this. It's like even if you were in your own job and you said, "I want a raise," they're gonna go, "No. We couldn't possibly give you a raise." You go to a different place, they offer you more money. You go back to your original employer, they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you that money. Yeah, you don't worry about that."
Yeah, but that's he's not getting the money then, or he's gone back to the original employer. They're not saying they're going to give him the money.
Yeah, I just wait a month. You'll get JT news tomorrow, and there's practice reports and stuff, and then we'll know the skinny.
Yeah, like look, you can see why he wants to make the trade with the wide receivers. Like Waddle has struggled this year, Pittman struggled, Pickens is struggling, and Zay Flowers is going to struggle as long as there's no other receivers there because they just doubled them at the weekend as well. Like he had 1 catch that actually made Zay Flowers relevant this weekend. Without that catch, he was like sitting at 2 points. Like he had 1 big catch this week that made him relevant. It's what did he get, Jamie? You have him. You're the owner. 7 points.
6.
So like he wasn't even really fantasy relevant. Like he was relevant enough to get you like bare minimum flex points. Like it was terrible.
And I DJ Moore on my bench got 24. So
well, you clearly didn't listen to me because Zay Flowers was my sit this week.
I was actually thinking about you as I was looking at him. I was like, why didn't I just listen to Shane? But it was him or DJ Moore. Like to be fair, that wasn't a great choice.
I'd have played DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Against
Denver.
Denver.
Segues nicely though. It segues nicely into the first game.
Yeah, here we go. Bears.
Straight in. Chicago Bears at Washington. Justin Fields, Sam Howell. This Fields is the only conversation here. I assume you're starting him again against a terrible Washington defense.
Yeah.
You are. Defense isn't that bad though.
Against the quarterback, it is though. Against the run, they're good. Against the quarterback, they're terrible.
Fair.
Yeah, I think you go stop well now, don't you? Like, I don't think you really want to. Yeah, he's gonna burn you, but
it's something you just have to take. You go in with a burn gel and you take your medicine.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's it, Jay. You're literally going in there, Savalon in hand, ready to go.
Aloe vera.
Turn around by saying, why is it spicy?
What? It's like if you have a chicken madras and then the next day it's going to come out pretty spicy on the other end.
A few pints of Guinness on top of it, man. That's
Why is it whenever you have a full feed of Guinness, you have to have like a spicy like kebab or something? You know, you have to chase it with something very spicy just to make the next day an absolute torture for everyone.
That's personal preference, man. I don't tend to do that, but
that's the
you don't have like a chili cheese fries or something that night coming on.
Not really, man. I used to always get food after a feed of pints, but we don't really do that anymore, do we, Jamie? Especially
we do hard
to eat, I think, because you go.
Oh no, it's very hard in Cork to get somewhere to eat now, like at night. Unless
there's like the one pizza place.
It's actually ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like Eskimo pizza in town, and then out by Jamie's living, you have the 4-star.
Yeah, that's not great,
if it's after like 3:00, you're only getting that crappy pizza place. Yeah, but anyway.
Man, we went to Dublin, Zaytoon, man. That was 2 days of food poisoning and a load of Guinness, and it was great. Do it again.
Is that your Zaytoon around the corner from the new house? So there we go. Sorted.
Yo.
Anyway, football.
Running backs.
Running backs, yes. Sorry, Herbert. Are you going to chase that? I don't know if you can chase that.
Number one on the waiver wire pickup this week, buddy.
He was
Yeah, I dropped him last week.
he was actually my number one pickup too. But obviously, I'm just gonna decline that now because there's no point. Shane's gonna get him.
Like out of the running backs that are available in our league specifically, but even by roster percentages that have gone by, out of all of them, the only person that has the potential to be anywhere relevant for the rest of the season is Herbert. Like, he hasn't been fantastic. Grant you, he had one really bad week in week 3, but like a 9, a 6, then the 1, right? The 1 was bad, but that's the outlier. If you look at it, like the 6 and the 9 at 20, right? Two outliers back-to-back weeks. I'm expecting out of Herbert to be a kind of an 8 to 12 point kind of guy. And for me, as a Nick Chubb owner who lost Nick Chubb, who's clearly struggling in our league this year because of Nick Chubb losing that 20 points a week has hurt me. DeAndre Hopkins didn't work out in my draft. Look, this could be relevant to a lot of other people who ended up with bad old injuries and stuff. Herbert, to me, is the only one that can step in and replace that. He gives you good, like for me, it's going to be an RB2 he's going to have to play. But like he gives you good flex value, I feel like. So if you are the bottom of your league, I think Herbert is the smartest pickup you can make because he has the ability to have that 20-point week with the Bears if they just run the ball. And most weeks he's going to hit you at a 6 or a 7, maybe at 12 at a max, which is good for a flex.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do. Yeah, like I don't think you ever feel comfortable playing Herbert. Like, I think you'll start him every week or flex him, and you'll just get a little bit of fucking anxiety as you do it. But like, I do agree. Like, I think he is a guy you probably could flex away, and like, especially in our league where running backs are such a commodity. Like, just to sit a guy like that on the bench, even like last week I picked up Dalvin Cook just to the off chance that he genuinely might at some point be Dalvin Cook. That's the only reason. Because you gotta like jump on running backs when they're just there,
Yeah, you're lucky I was drinking that night.
I know. It's like, am I going to get him? We're going to get him.
Yeah, I was not paying attention to him being dropped. Completely missed it. If I had Dalvin Cook, he would have played this week.
Notifications.
Brian Robinson, you're starting him then on the other side. He's probably a good flex shout anyway. Yeah. Wide receivers in this game.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, Jamie.
Yeah. Well, to be fair to him, he is becoming quite startable. I didn't start him this week. Production. Yeah, I didn't start him this week because the whole Fields situation, and that's the only reason I didn't play him. But like, Fields is starting to play a little bit better. Moore seems like the only target he has. So yeah, I think you can probably go back to starting him again.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I think it's a solid play, and Terry McLaurin's probably a solid play as well.
Yeah,
I knew Terry would pay off. Said it from the start, man. Sam Howell astrode somebody, the rest of that team's ass.
You probably have to roll out Cole Kmet after the big week as well. But is Logan Thomas back from that concussion?
Yeah, apparently Logan has been loaded up.
I don't know if I could play Logan Thomas though.
No, he played this. He played against the Eagles this week.
Did he? Okay. Well,
yeah, he got 6 points.
Oh, that's decent for a tight end.
Yeah, like Logan Thomas might be. He's a handy one if you feel like just picking a lad up off the carousel and taking him home. Sure, it might work.
That's a bit dodgy, isn't it? Why is the carousel got suddenly very rapey? Like,
wow.
Jacksonville at Buffalo, early game on the Sunday again. Is this in Tottenham or Wembley? I think it's Tottenham.
It's Tottenham, I think.
Lovely. It should be a good game though. Better than last week's London game. Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen. Would you go back to the Trevor Lawrence well here? Are you going to risk it?
I am personally not. I think, well, I wasn't gonna, but the only thing is, Tre'Davious White looks like he's gone off the Bills' defense now. And anyone who knows that about the Bills' defense and Tre'Davious White is that he's probably one of the top 5 corners in the NFL. So when you lose Tre'Davious White, that defense is instantly going to get a little bit weaker. It might open things up a little bit more because they'd have just played White against Ridley or Kirk 1-on-1 and just double covered the other receiver out of the two. So now it might make it a lot more competitive against that defense that has been stellar. So I'm probably not going to go back to him. I have Love, so I'll probably stick with Love. Been the actual Lawrence Warner amongst the three of us.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to take on the Bills. The Bills look very good at the moment. Like really, really good. I don't think I'd start Lawrence with Adam.
You finally got your touchdown from James Cook, Jamie.
I know.
Nice work, my boy.
I'm
You
so
got
excited.
it. Hero.
You should have literally seen me watching Red Zone. I was like, oh my god, he's ran it in. I had text G, but like I didn't actually hit send for about 5 minutes because I was like, they're gonna call that back. That's definitely been called back.
It should have been called back too, man. Like, how
I
did
don't
it
care.
return that? How? Because I was like, turn it over and give it to Murray. Give it to Murray.
I was waiting for it. I was actually waiting for it. When they went up to the line at that point, I was just waiting for Murray to go back into the backfield. Because Cook was there, and I was like, no, they're going to bring Murray in now. Watch, this is going to be hilarious.
I kind of had that in reverse this weekend with the Devontae Adams touchdown that was ruled not a touchdown. And eventually Josh Jacobs got in on the touchdown. I was like, yes, Rob points. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. Should that happen to me with Brian Robinson dropping the fumble on the ball in the end zone? Terry McLaurin got it back.
Yeah. That happened to me with Nico Collins in the first touchdown when I got called back like 5 times. I don't know what's the
Oh, yeah.
That's like, finally, the show to the right person.
That was
like 5 minutes, that touchdown.
Yeah, that was probably the most annoying part of Red Zone that this whole weekend was just watching Stroud get called back every 2 seconds to throw the ball again. It was like, how many times could these bastards be in the Red Zone?
I think I think there was like a defensive penalty in there as well, where they got like a reset of downs and everything. It was all over the place.
So annoying.
Yeah, ETN, he's straight in, so we don't need to worry about that. The receivers in Jacksonville, it's been terrible for Calvin Ridley, but can you bench him?
Probably not.
That was some whimper, Jane.
I was thinking. Probably not. But yeah, I think he's definitely gone down to a flex option now. If you're not benching him, but he's very, very close to that bench. So.
Yeah, I feel like you probably he got drafted so high that it's so hard to bench him. But like, if you actually look, like this year, running backs are very scarce. They're hard to come by to get the running backs that are hitting over 10 to 12 points every week. Receivers, man, seem to be just hitting it this year. There seems to be like a new receiver in the top 5 every week. Like, it's just this, like, you Reynolds there was going nuts for Detroit first 2 games. Like, for me, receivers are easily interchangeable this year, bar your top guys like your Devontae Adams there. Like, he's been insane so far this year, your Pukas and those guys. But like, you could probably find another receiver to replace Ridley. You just need a ball to drop him.
The Buffalo receivers is quite simple. It's Stephon Diggs and then Gabe Davis. If you need a touchdown, that's about it. Like, Gabe Davis isn't really going to be anything else, is he?
Yeah, I'm still not going there. Don't care.
You can't go there anyway. Someone picked them up, dude.
Even if he was there, I don't know. Still wouldn't go there.
You're just going to roll with Kirk then on the other side because he's been playing pretty well, and then Evan Ingram's probably the same thing again.
Well, like, would you play Gabe Davis or would you play Calvin Ridley?
Calvin Ridley.
Robert Ridley, yeah.
Well, then you'd both be down on points this year because Gabe Davis has been better than him.
I don't care.
Right.
He's going to tank.
It's
going to happen. He's going to go straight down. He does this all the time.
He probably
It's like
will.
you
Like,
Yeah. Second you trust him, he's gone.
That's exactly it. Yeah, the second you trust the man. No.
the Bills running backs. Would you now say Latavius Murray is a low end flex option?
Very
No.
low in flex option.
Yeah,
no.
but like he's consistent. He's consistent at that 6 kind of 8 points. Like that's where he's at. Like if you were
Yeah. But are you going to take the 6 to 8 points from the running back in your flex, or are you going to go and take a shot on any receiver you can get? Like,
well, look, I took the shot with Kareem Hunt this week, and I would have rather had Latavius Murray, and it was between the two of them. How sparse my running back room has gotten with injury. It's it's a sad time, boys.
Yeah, but if anything, the Bills' backroom there, like Cook is getting more and more prominent. Like he's becoming the out and out back. He's exactly what I wanted him to be. He's finally getting there. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I think Cook looks fantastic. It's just I think Murray, like that was an outlier for me, that Cook touchdown at the weekend. Like it was in the red zone. Usually they're Murray's touches, and Murray had just done. He had like 3 or 4 runs on that drive already, and it's like they just took him out and put in Cook because Murray's 33, and they were there like, right, buddy, get your breath back. It's like usually if Cook was good to go on that drive and he was just in, and Murray hadn't had the 20-yard run, or what, was it a 15 or 20-yard run he had at one stage there? So I reckon if he hadn't had that, they just would have put back in Cook, and that touchdown would have been Murray's then, because they just would have changed him for the red zone. So I think that's what happened on that drive. So I think Murray is just touchdown upside. That's all he is to me.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad call because like the Bills are going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, that's my thinking is they're going to be in the red zone a lot. He's going to get a lot of chances to score. So if he can get 30 yards a game with that, 8 carries, 30 yards, 40 yards, and a touchdown every week. Well, not every week, obviously not score every week, but like if he gets close to that every week, he becomes a very good flex option to a low end flex option. He's that's his ceiling. Low end, maybe even RB2 if he can get 2 touchdowns in a week. Like,
Yeah, you could do worse.
oh, you could, yeah, definitely. Kareem Hunt.
Houston at Atlanta. CJ Stroud is coming on nicely. He's a decent waiver wire ad if he's still sitting there. What's his roster percentage at this stage? Do you have that handy there, Shane, or is it gone away from your screen?
His roster percentage at the minute is still only 54% on Sleeper. Started by 17% of teams.
Yeah, you could still sneak him onto a roster. Then I think it's probably not a bad shout if you need a quarterback. You're definitely playing over Desmond Ridder anyway.
No, and yeah, you would say that, and even like you look at the popularity now of superflexes for dynasties and stuff. Like, surely Stroud is a shoe-in for a superflex team. Like,
yeah, he's probably one. Like, I'm playing him in one quarterback as well, but he'll probably make his way to the bench this week for my inevitable burns with Justin Fields. But anyway,
Fields will go out on the second play of the game, Chase Young sack, and he's done.
It wouldn't shock me. CJ Stroud, Desmond Ridder, and then we're going to move on to Dameon Pierce. He's looked good. He's definitely an RB2 range there, and then Bijan's automatic.
Yeah. Pierce, he's not Pierce is hurting you. Like he's kind of doing what you kind of wanted him to do at the start of the season. Yeah, you can definitely play him away.
Yeah. I think people expected a lot more out of him, but the reason Pierce was so hot last year was they had Davis Mills in a quarterback. Like, they just weren't throwing the ball. Stroud, they can throw the ball, so it limits Pierce's value. But he's like, what, solid 10 point a week guy? Like,
yeah, they seem to be actually able to run an offense, which is kind of weird for the Texans. Like,
yeah,
they have a lot of options. There's a lot of Texans who could probably play now.
Pierce is a big part of that, because if you're afraid of that run, you can play action off of it, which is brilliant for rookie QB. Gives him more time on the pocket, and that's what they're doing. He's not been utilized the way he was last year, but he's still a good option. Like, people were just panicking or not with Pierce, I think.
Tyler Algier is dead, though. You can't play that, so don't think about that.
He's just dead. It's very blunt.
Disclaimer: he's not actually dead.
The Houston wide receivers, there's a lot in play here. Tank Dell had a bad week. Probably might sit him just to give it another look-see. Let him come back to form a bit, but Nico's an auto start at this stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico's an auto start. Yeah, 100%.
Then the Atlanta pass catchers we don't need to talk about. There's a rule on this podcast.
Yeah, no. we can shift on.
Say
Drake
that, Drake.
London is literally relevant because of a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just a touchdown, isn't it? I don't want to play that game. Carolina at Detroit. Get your Detroit defense ready because Bryce Young is back. God. Man, he had 6.1 fantasy points this week.
Yeah. Some people might say that if he just learned to throw to his number one receiver, he might have more.
Adam Thielen kind of still was slightly relevant, but Jesus, it's hard to see a path with this Carolina offense.
Thielen was relevant. 11 points, 12 points. That's
Thielen's probably
relevant.
okay. Yeah, I think Thielen's the guy you can kind of play away. He's probably the only guy who's gonna come up with smelling like roses in that offense.
Miles Sanders was a little shaken up this week. Didn't really get the snaps.
Yeah, he was injured, wasn't he? But he's probably still going to be injured against the Detroit defense. It's looking healthy.
Do you pick up Chuba Hubbard then this week? Is that what you're saying? Maybe Chuba Hubbard has another 6 to 10 point game this week. Low end flex option again.
Your low end flex option at running back seems to be very, very low this year. You were very tainted this year, Shane.
I am.
Like 2 points. Like
Yeah. Well, no. It's got to be above 5, right? But like when you've had the injuries I've had, you've lost the whole running back. Like the only running back I think I still have left on my team is Henry from the start. All the rest of them were either like I drafted them because I was like maybe they'll get more snaps, or it was like they just got injured. It's like I have no one left.
I'll give you Dalvin Cook if you give me someone no bother.
God no, go away from me with that. Like I'm not that desperate. I'm gonna trade for an asset like Dalvin Cook.
I can give you Dalvin Cook and Justice Hill. Whatever you want.
No. And also, I would actually on that point, I was right. Gus Bus over the
You
two
are.
of you and your Justice
Yeah.
Hill, right? Yeah.
But what did you really gain?
Yeah.
No, and I could have picked up the Gus Bus as well. I did. Like that's how bad this has been.
He's still not great either. But yeah. Where are we?
Detroit.
Running back.
Yeah. The
We're
track running
probably
backs are
benching
just
Miles Sanders.
Sorry, buddy.
yeah. Who's talking?
I said we're probably benching Miles Sanders, but we're all agreeing with that, or are we disagreeing with benching Miles Sanders?
I
Oh,
think you
bench
probably
him. No,
bench him,
bench,
yeah.
bench. Yeah.
Bench.
Mhm.
David Montgomery is the number one in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing.
It's so annoying.
32 attempts, mother of Jesus! I didn't see that figure.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Did he just get
me
every
either.
snap?
No, Jamari Gibbs got a few, like, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Why draft Gibbs that high if you're not going to use him? Like, what was the sense?
Who gives a running back 32 attempts when his name isn't CMC?
When their quarterback's name is Jared Goff.
Jesus. Put some respect on. No, actually, it's Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, that's a lot of attempts for David Montgomery coming off an injury.
Yeah.
They must really not like Gibbs.
No, but
Yeah, really
are they
not
just
like
going to
this.
Are they just going to run Montgomery into the ground until they get to the playoffs, where he's just going to be so banged up that they end up with Gibbs and nobody really knows what Gibbs is, and just Gibbs runs them to a championship game or something? Because I do not see Detroit getting to a Super Bowl, but a championship game maybe with the way their offense has been playing.
That's not helpful to me. Or any Gibbs owners.
Yeah, no, like that's what I'm saying. Is that what the plan? Like, how long of a contract did they give Montgomery? Like, is he going to be there for another year? Hamper
know.
Gibbs again next year? Like,
What are you
Don't know.
doing with Montgomery then, Jamie? Are you playing him or?
Montgomery or Gibbs?
Yeah.
No,
Or is he-
Montgomery, you.
Oh, sorry,
smack
sorry, Gibbs. Gibbs.
me. Gibbs. Like
Gibbs is a low end flex option.
He actually is. Oh, he genuinely is.
Yeah.
He's not killing you. He still is averaging about 7 points a game. So he's not killing you altogether, but he ain't helping either. Like, you know,
I'll give you
is-
Hopkins for Gibbs.
like, is he at that level? He probably is at this point in time. Like, I was genuinely looking at him to see if I could trade him off or something, but I'm like, what can you get from him now, really? Who's going to take him?
I'll take him
No.
for Hopkins.
I'm not taking Hopkins. I have a ball of wide receivers. I don't need any more of them.
Would you be able to trade Gibbs for Dobbs?
Josh Dobbs. Trade him for a
No,
quarterback, man.
No, the Green Bay wide receiver, Dubes,
Oh,
Dobbs.
Dubes.
Oh,
All
Dubes.
Yeah.
What?
I was trying to crack my head there, so.
Yeah, so who the fuck is Dobbs?
I would still hope he's a little bit higher value than that.
Yeah, like, yeah, sure, Hopkins is surely higher value than Dubes. Like,
Hmm. You would think
Hopkins
so.
has been like Dubes has had the one big week, but Hopkins has consistently been over 7 points, I think, since the start. He's had like over 7 points a week. Like,
Well,
So-
Dubes has been very good. He only underperforms when I play him. If I play
Yeah.
him, he gets
So,
a
like-
4. Every other week's a 15.
well, no, he didn't have that this week, did he? Didn't he? He played another down week this week with
And I
Watson
had
back.
14 points this
Yeah.
week on my bench.
Did he?
Yeah,
Wow.
Man's killing it on the bench. We'll
Yeah,
get to
you
him
have some
later.
decent players on that bench of yours, but
Telling you, there was like 60 points sitting on my bench this weekend. Yeah, so Gibbs, he's gone into your flex and you're sick of it. Thielen, you can play him. You're going to have to look away when you play him, but you can do it. And then Amon Ra's an automatic, isn't he?
yeah, you're not benching Amon Ra.
Sam Laporta, he's interesting, isn't he? He's been playing pretty decent at the tight end position. Well, as decent as a tight end can.
Oh,
Yeah.
play him every week.
Yeah, pure
He's-
consistency.
He is an auto start. I'll tell you so.
He's the Will
Ah.
Disley of the future. Just
yeah.
consistency.
Okay. Right.
I'm not saying Will
Yeah.
Disley's level of talent. Like, I'm saying, like, obviously Laporta is better talent wise, but Disley is my Mr. Consistent. When he's available, it's 3 to 4 points every week.
What's the next game?
Tennessee at Indianapolis. This is
God.
yeah. Not a great game.
It's a fantastic game for me.
We can fly through this one. It's grand.
Did you see just here? If you look at the sleeper matchup, they have Taylor listed as the starter, giving him 9.5 fantasy points though.
Yeah, and that just changed, like, because at the weekend he was slated for like 13, and if you look at his Jacksonville game, he's back up to 12 and Cleveland 13. So like, it's just for this game. They're like, we don't really know, so we're like, we'll put him at a 9, conservative. I like it,
Ooh,
sleeper.
This news report I'm reading here isn't gonna. You're not gonna like this though, Shane. Jonathan Taylor still doesn't want to play for the Colts, per reporter from Fantasy Pros. Jonathan Taylor was designated to return from PUP list and will practice this week, but the star running back hasn't changed his mind about playing for the Colts, according to ESPN's Dan Graziano.
Yeah, but look, I'm fine by that. If he doesn't want to play, he doesn't want to play. He won't be there till the end of the year. They will trade him, because if they keep him to the end of the year, they're going to lose him to free agency anyway. So they're going to get something for him, and they only have till week 8 to do that. So no team's going to probably wait till the deadline to get Taylor and then have to pay him for half a season on top of fucking the next 4 years or 5 years, whatever he's looking for. So I reckon the trade is going to happen either this week or next week if he is looking to go.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're sitting Taylor for another week, like. Just can't use an IR spot.
I think he has to play at least 4 games for his contract toll this year, so he eventually has to play somewhere.
So, like, look, he knows that himself as well. Like, I'm sure he's not going to lose out on money, but if the Colts are saying, look, come back, play for us the rest of this year, he's probably right not to come back, not to risk injury with the Colts, a team he knows aren't going to pay him. So, like, I don't blame him. Same time, could a deal be worked out before the end of the week? We've seen stupid deals happen with running backs in the past. Sure, it could happen again. This backroom staff for the Colts aren't exactly the sharpest tools in the box.
Does he not realize you have a fantasy roster that needs to be filled?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And like Nick Chubb got injured. Like, I need to have a word with Jonathan Taylor, don't I? Be like, here, buddy, look.
Just, we haven't mentioned Nick Chubb there in about 10 minutes.
I'm missing
Shots
so
fired.
much. I'm missing so
Clearly.
We skipped over the quarterbacks for that Jonathan Taylor in-depth article, but Anthony Richardson, you're playing him at this stage. He's just an auto start.
much.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Derrick Henry, we don't really discuss that. It's and then Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. It's just listen to the news, really, isn't it? Zach Moss goes in straight away if Jonathan Taylor sits.
Yep.
Tennessee's rush defense is pretty good, though. But would that deter you off Moss at all? The world we're living in, you probably have to play him.
I don't think so, because he has been playing quite well. You know, I think you have him. I think you're flexing him anyway.
Fair point, well made.
Okay.
Michael Pittman, what was the return like with Richardson? Poor, to say the least.
Yeah, Pittman doesn't look like he's going to shape up to have a fantastic year once Richardson is playing, does he?
Well,
No.
it was week 1 was Richardson, and then it was 2 Minshew, was it?
Yeah.
Jamie, are you playing him this week then?
Oh, God, no.
You don't like Pittman, though. I forgot about that.
Anyway, so probably a better question for Shane. But, yeah, no. I don't think you play any of them really while Richardson's quarterback. I don't think they're kind of relevant. He seemed to like Downs a bit, but even Downs didn't have a good game either. I think you just kind of stay away, to be honest.
DeAndre Hopkins is the wide receiver 50. It hasn't been good.
Nope. No, but look, he hasn't exactly killed you any week either. He had a 10, a 6, a 6, and an 8. Like, look, they're not duck eggs that we've seen other people lay. That like
Jordan
you're getting
Addison.
the worst. What?
Jordan Addison.
Yeah, like come on, like people were expecting Jordan Addison to be a lot more, I suppose. Now I know Justin Jefferson there, it's hard to get the touches as well, but like I feel more comfortable now playing Hopkins over Addison at the minute. Like Addison obviously gives you the bigger return if he hits, but Hopkins is just consistent now. You know what you're going to get out of him, and Hopkins still has to get a score, and he is going to get touchdowns this year. It's just about when they start coming. But like Tannehill is terrible, so just I'd still hold fast with Hopkins, but you shouldn't be playing him at your wide receiver 2 anymore. Like he should be a flex at the minimum. Like, and even at that, he should be sitting your bed. Yeah, he's low flex. Actually, he's like a mid flex. He's like a mid flex because he's got that bit better potential.
We don't really need to discuss Burks here. That's nothing there.
I think he's still injured anyway, isn't he? He's still going to be out.
Is he? Okay, well, that's good. You don't even have to think about it then. Josh Downs is coming on a little bit, but again, it's nothing to really write home about, is it?
No, Richardson seems to be a tight end guy. Seems to like throwing to his tight ends. 2 of his tight ends had over 10 points this week.
And plus, he's built like a tight end himself, so.
Yeah, maybe it's just he's like, oh, that guy looks like me.
Iga Konku is not really throwing out the way people thought he would either. So, talking about tight ends, I don't know if you can play any in this game.
No, probably not.
That's the problem. Like Mo Ali Cox had a great week. Ogletree had a great week. But Jack Granson is the number 1 tight end there on the depth chart. But yet he had the worst week of the 3 of them. It's
impossible. The New York Giants at the Miami Dolphins. Who's going to win this game?
Saquon's back, man. Giants all the way. Going for the upset.
An angry Miami team playing the Giants.
Yeah. Saquon's just going to be like Bugs Bunny in that cartoon where he played every base in the baseball game. It's just going to be Saquon Barkley, a quarterback, running back.
Is he definitely back for this game, or is it still wait and see on this one?
I think they're actually, are they the Thursday night game? No, they're not. No, this is a Saturday kick or
early
Sunday
slate.
kickoff, isn't it? I think does it say he's a game time decision? I think he's
don't
due
think we'll
back,
find
but
out.
I
We need
think
to
the
watch
news
their
says he's
practice
game
reports.
time.
We'll have to. I'd say wait and see if he's playing, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm definitely waiting to see on his injury report later on in the week before I make a call on playing Saquon.
Yeah, I just don't know. Can you play anyone at the minute outside of him? If he's healthy, obviously you drafted him first round, you're playing him. But anyone else on the Giants, you should not be playing a Giant. They just should not be in your team. Like,
I suppose the only real questions around Darren Waller.
no, he wouldn't even be in my team. What's he had 3-3 in the last 2 weeks? That's not like there's better
that's
tight
not
ends on the
like that's
carousel.
Darren. Miami just fire them all up. Even Mostert, even with the down week, fire them up. Put them all in. Fire the cannons.
Yeah, I would be tempering my expectations with Mostert. I think I said it the weekend as well. Like I just think Achan is going to be the man there now. That's it. Mostert is going to have a limited role. Maybe get 30, 35, 40% at a push of the snaps, but Achan's going to be the man.
Yeah.
Do we really need to discuss anything else on this side? Because we just know like the running backs and then the receivers. You know who you're playing for Miami. Like
Jalen Waddle, man, is a real discussion. I think that we had. Like Jalen Waddle, he's playing wide receiver 1 for probably a lot of people in their leagues. Like he has not performed.
Yeah, the 1 week off with injury, were they just trying to work him back in slowly? I don't know. The game kind of got out of hand a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, but I think when you draft Waddle, even though I know Tyreek Hill's there and he's clearly number 1, I think when you draft Waddle, you're expecting that 15 to 20 points a week out of the high-powered Miami offense. He's had 1 week over 10 points in our half PPR. Like it's not been a good return. Like it is what?
Mid-range flex.
yeah, exactly. I like it. You all expecting your flexes to get like 15 points a week, man. My flex is expected to get me like 6, and I'm happy.
My flex normally does, yeah.
You would fucking say Flowers your number 1 overall receiver this week, you dick. He got 6 points. Shut up.
Nico Collins is my flex.
Yeah, we're just putting all the best players in the flex just so we can like make ourselves feel better.
High end flexes.
Yeah, you guys completely using your flex wrong.
Got 27 points from my flex. Yeah, but you got 0 from your fucking wide receiver 1. Yeah, flex got 26.
Didn't you get 0 from one of your players this week? Or like
It's
1?
Jordan Addison.
Yeah. Come on, like, so your flex. Come on. Play the game right, Dad.
Both my running backs are totaled for 9 points between the 2 of them. So,
Yeah, I was going to send you a trade for Aaron Jones, and then I saw that, and I was like, I'm not doing that. He's going to be bad, isn't it?
No, he'd be fine. He was just injured. He'd be grand.
Grand. New Orleans at New England. I don't know what to do with all.
Just in general.
Stop playing either of the quarterbacks. That's just, we could skip the quarterbacks. Billy Zappa is probably going to be in it, or Billy Zapka, the Karate Kid. Zappy is going to be in at a quarterback, I'd say. Anyway, I don't see Mac Jones coming back. I think Belichick just saw enough of Mac Jones. He was like, yeah, you're done, kid. Sit down.
No, he said he's going to still be the starter. Still at least another week. Yeah. Sure, like, I don't know what he does, though, to be honest, whether he does keep him or whether he gets rid of him, like, but sure, he said he's the starter.
Oh, I don't know. I think Belichick needs to make a call here and just say, like, yeah, look, We're ditching Mac Jones, going to like they played better under Zappa last year than what they did under Mac Jones. I thought when he came in. No, nobody agree with that. I thought they did play better when he was there.
No, they did, yeah. Don't know. I thought he was a better quarterback. I thought it was a bit harsh when they actually did drop him and brought back.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it was wicked harsh. I thought he played very well.
That's one thing about actually getting rid of Zappi at one point as well. They were like, we're going to call him.
Yeah, I think they were.
Very
Yeah.
harsh.
Any questions, guys? Remember to throw them in the chat and we'll get them answered for you. We're doing trades, pickups, just general nonsense with fantasy football as well. Sorry, I cut across you there, Shane.
Hey, you're all right, bye. You're all right. Go fuck yourself.
Alvin Kamara.
Massive workload. Didn't have the exact return you were looking for, but still a solid week of 15 points.
Did you see
high in flex?
He's receiving 14 targets for 13 receptions and 33 yards.
Yeah.
13 receptions for 33 yards.
It's the lowest in NFL history or something. I seen the report come out and after it happened. They're like, this is like the worst performance of any person ever receiving the football.
Did you see, before we answer this question, did you see the Elijah Moore run that was he just kept turning around.
I think Browns players forget what way they're playing. It seems to be a Browns thing. They just forget what way they're playing. It's like, oh my God, so much room. There's nobody at the end zone. I can go that way.
Oh, this is tough. Hi, guys. Someone just offered me Waddle for James Cook. The wide receivers are Kupp, Olave, Tank Dell, and Deontay Johnson. The running backs are CMC, K9, Algier, Warren, and Hunt.
Okay. Oh, yeah. No, I'd hang on to James Cook there. I think that you've an overall solid team. I don't see the need for Waddle, and we were just saying it. Well, I just said it. I think his production on what you would expect from Waddle has been down this year. I just don't. I think he will have big weeks, and you'll say, "Oh, look, this guy told me a load of bullshit." But I don't think he's going to be the receiver everyone thought he was going to be this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it. But I'm very high in James Cook, and yeah, so
you love a bit of James Cook.
I do love James Cook.
Bet that snack pack's pretty good. Want to trade me the rest of it for this banana? You know how badly I can beat you, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had that one in a while.
Not really sure what that was for.
would you have kept James Cook or would you trade, Dan?
I'd probably keep James Cook personally.
Yeah, so we're all on the Cook side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly because running backs are just so hard to come by. Alvin Kamara, anyway, he's probably getting started in this game. Ramondre Stevenson, you have been incredibly unhappy with, really, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Don't like him. Never like him.
as a person.
The one thing I'll put into this is, like, the only game and it was his worst game that you would really have a problem with is the Jets, right? Because the Jets, they didn't run away from the Patriots. They don't have a mad high-powered offense with Zach Wilson playing. But if you look at the first two games, you played Philly. They're one of the favorites for a Super Bowl. Miami, probably the best offense or second best offense in the league. Then they played Jets, right? You'd be disappointed at that. You would have expected more. And then he played Dallas, best defense, and they're one of the best offenses as well this year. They've shown it now that their offense is extremely good. Bad in the red zone, but good offense. So, like, out of them games, the Jets game, I would have expected maybe a 15, 20-point week out of him, and he didn't get it. So that'd be my big worry. Like, the other games, you fall so far behind, you can't really run the ball anyway. Do you know that way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I think coming into this week against New Orleans, their offense isn't super high-powered. So I would expect a lot more from Stevenson this week. Like, this would be the week now I'd say, right, Ramondre needs to have that 15-point week for me now this week. If he doesn't have it, I need to, like, see if I can trade him, if the name value is enough to move him for some piece to give me something back.
Yeah, I never bought into him being an RB1. I just never got the hype around him being drafted so high. Like, I just don't think he's good enough to be an RB1. And I just would, at this point, I don't even think you could trade him. I'd just sit him on the bench and see if you could trade him. I'd nearly even drop him, to be honest. I just don't think he's good enough.
Jesus.
Third round pick, man. You're never dropping a guy you drafted.
You're not.
Because if you got him, he's third round. Like,
I know you're not, but that's where I feel if I had him. I'm like, I do not want to play this man.
Loss of limb will not excuse you.
Chris Olave, he's throwing out the dud.
no, that's a bit of a Derek Carr effect. I think, isn't it? Coming back in, he's been good with him so far, but I think he likes Thomas. Derek Carr likes Thomas, king of the slants.
Yeah, but what's Thomas getting you, like 6 points a game?
Good mid end flex. He's between 7 and 8 points every week.
Yeah, but you're not winning a
Consistent.
week with that either, though. Like,
No, but it's better than like Jordan Addison did this week. It's better than what Kareem Hunt did this week. It's better than Latavius Murray did this week. It's better than what Chris Olave gave you this week.
we're talking about Chris Olave, aren't we? Here,
That's what I mean. Yeah, it was better, isn't it?
I think I'm just gonna roll with Olave again.
Yeah, so would I. I think I was making no point there whatsoever, just for fun. I was like, I just knew it would frustrate you.
Fair.
Jamie, do you want anyone else in this game? You gonna play Hunter Henry?
No. No. I just don't want anyone here. Like, I think Henry is not really viable while Mac Jones is there. If Zappy goes back in, I'll go back and I'll start playing Henry again. But after that, shit show. Oh, you're nowhere near it.
Shane, your different opinion on Henry?
Yeah, well, he got 7 points this week. He had a down week the week before. He had 2 14s, a 2, and then a 7. Like, I'll take the 7 points off a tight end. Like, they're hard to come by. Tight end points sticking up that kind of tight. Like, I expect him to have a down week every now and then, but like as a tight end down week, as we've seen, like look Fairmouth this week again. I know he got injured, but like you look at a lot of the tight ends, Goddard and that, they've all been bad. Like if you get a tight end who's down week, it's 2 points. Yeah, carousel.
I still don't think that's carousel music, but yeah.
No, Betty Hill, where they're all running in one room and next thing running out in a different order out of the
I
next
know,
room.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
carousel music, like.
Yeah, but it's just you chasing a different tight end into one room and you're coming out chasing a
But it's
different tight end
supposed
out
to
of
be a
another room.
carousel.
Whatever, dude, right? It's not, I didn't pick the music. Dad picked the music. I was trying to back him
I'm
up, man.
just
Just tearing us
saying.
down. I was tearing us down, Jamie. I was pulling at all the little problems.
To be honest, like carousel music is quite hard to find, Jamie. I don't know what don't want to listen to like ads for things. I can't get you carousel music without listening to an ad for FIFA.
Do you know Beverly Hills Cop 3, the Wonder World music? That's carousel music.
Okay, well, I will go and cut you better carousel music for next week, Jamie. I'll
Okay,
go
thank
through the whole issue of cutting it and putting it onto the soundboard because Jamie needs proper carousel music.
Yeah, no,
I
dude, like
appreciate it.
literally,
I do.
look up Beverly Hills Cop 3 Wonder World music, and that's your carousel music.
Dickheads.
What do you mean, dickheads? I was defending you. Is that dick?
Oh, that's in tears.
Baltimore at Pittsburgh will have you in tears.
Yeah,
Nice segue,
Nice
Dan.
segue.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hang on a second.
fire me up some running backs here.
Hang on now until the crowd applauds me. At least someone appreciates me.
Anyway,
Do
who was playing here?
Lamar Jackson. Straight away.
Yeah.
No questions. Gus Bus. Are we daring to do it?
No.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, you're probably not. Like he's going to get the carries. It's just that he just doesn't do anything with them.
The Gus Bus needs like a service and a wash, and probably to be just like burnt down for scrap metal at this stage.
I'm not servicing them and washing them dead, am I?
It's the normal disclaimer: if you can't play any of these Baltimore running backs, so don't even bother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Najee Harris, I said to sit him. He did get 10 points this week, so I was wrong. Ish, but I think the mentality of the reason for sitting him is still correct. He's been bad, and you can't really play him.
Yeah, I would say if Kenny Pickett is going to miss time, now I don't think he is. I think they came out and said that it's on his the hand that he injured was the non-throwing hand. But if he was to miss time, I'd say Mitch Trubisky would run the ball a lot more. They're not going to throw it with Mitch. So I think Najee becomes more of a factor if Trubisky is playing.
Yeah, Trubisky will just throw it away. I thought it was his knee for Pickett. Was it his hand? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh, oh, wait, hang on. Was it not Pickett who had the hand? I thought it was Pickett who had the hand.
Herbert had a hand, didn't he, where he tried to block someone and just got caught in the helmet?
Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, two of them have blonde, long hair. It's just the thing.
Except one of them is good.
Yeah. Fair.
Jamie, say Flowers. Do you want to play him?
No. I think
Getting sour fast, isn't it?
it's getting very sour very fast. Very low end flex option. But
That a dig, is it?
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's kind of going back to the bench now at this point. I think that Flowers experiment has failed a small bit. But I suppose he's not, like he has no one to add him. He's always covered. Like I think maybe if Beckham comes back, maybe Bateman can get in the game a bit. He might have a bit more of an opportunity, but like if he's no help, just bench him for the time being.
Do they have any news on Odell? Like since like he did the ankle in week 2, I haven't really heard anything about like any kind of timeline of him coming back.
No,
I don't think so.
Do we care either?
No, I wouldn't be picking him up, man. I don't think there's value to be had there with him, is there?
Not really, no. I wouldn't be chasing it personally. George Pickens came back to earth as well.
Yeah, well, I think we expected that a little bit, didn't we?
Yeah, it's hard to chase those points. To be honest, like it's Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews in this game, and then after that, see you later. There's no one else I'm playing.
Yeah, the risk on Zay Flowers isn't worth it now at the minute, is it? Without any other receivers around him to help take the coverage away, like.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. There's just not enough there to get anything done. The Bengals at the Cardinals. I'm actually going to look up the point spread for this game because I think the Bengals go to Arizona and they lose.
I think this is the game where the Bengals get it going.
Jamie,
If
where do you
Burrow,
lie?
I think it's going to be a draw.
Way to sit on the fence.
Somewhere in the middle. Do you know what? The Cardinals they look a lot better than they should be. Like they really shouldn't be as like they did cause the Niners problems last night. Like they played quite well. Like they didn't deserve
their defense is massively underrated, isn't it? Like their defense is what's keeping them in games.
Yeah, like you probably could go to Marquise Brown at this point. Like, why not? So he seems to be getting the points.
But even the rookie Wilson had a good game. Like he could be an interesting stash at the back of a bench if you had space for him. Like he had 7 targets, 7 receptions, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's had three decent games there. 23, 9, and 7. You know, like, why
The
not?
snap seems to be going back up again after week 1.
Yeah. Like, you would probably think it's a preferable matchup with the Bengals. Why not? Like, I think a lot of Arizona boys you could probably just stash up and play flex options if you had to.
Well, like
How-
Josh Dobbs, he's in no way making his way into contention to be played, but he has had. So take week 1 out where he was -2. He's had 27, 19, and 26 points. Like
That's better than the likes of Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson. That's better scoring than all those guys in the last 3 weeks.
And two of those matches were against the Cowboys and the Niners. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get much tougher than that. I still wouldn't go out my way and play him because I think that's just a recipe to
Well,
for
you'd
disaster.
you'd still need Stones to make a move like that.
Yeah.
But like, if someone gave you the choice of Joe Burrow or Josh Dobbs at the minute,
Oh, you'd have to take Dobbs. Burrow's last 3 weeks have been like 3-6 or 3-8, 19, and 3. That's Burrow's season.
Yeah.
Like, Burrow shouldn't be in a team at the minute. Like, realistically, you should be after dropping Burrow. Like, I know he's a great quarterback. You probably picked him up in the 4th or the 5th round, but realistically, Geno Smith, Josh Dobbs, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, like, they've all outplayed Joe Burrow at the minute. Like, you should be after moving to a new quarterback. If you're not after moving to a new quarterback, you're basically the reason your team is probably 0-4 or 1-3 at this point. Like, because you probably haven't won more than one game, and that's probably the week 2 game where he actually showed up and got nearly 20 points. Is probably the only game you probably had a chance of winning.
you can't win with 15 points or less at the quarterback position. You just can't.
No, it's impossible. Like, and it's so annoying because I don't value quarterbacks at the 1st or the 2nd round. I think that you can find a better quarterback later in the draft, but it's becoming increasingly harder because more and more people are taking their quarterbacks in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. And if it doesn't hit, like this year, it didn't hit for me with Trevor Lawrence. Like, unless Lawrence completely turns it around, if it doesn't hit, you'd use a 5th round pick on a quarterback or a 4th round pick on a quarterback. You're struggling for depth of the rest of your team. Like,
Jamie, were you going to say something on Burrow?
No, I think you're just right. I think at this point you probably could drop him.
And let someone else deal with the nonsense of it. Joe Mixon then.
I think he's a start, man. And you're going to start him. He's RB2 quality. I know he's had one bad week. Last week wasn't fantastic. This week just gone was at 8 points.
Yeah,
but like he's had 2 8-point weeks, an 11 an 11 and a 13. You're still playing him.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. You definitely play him, I'd say.
And then James Conner, you're putting him in?
Yeah, he's surely not a start at this point. He's been absolutely brilliant. You know?
Yeah, he had a bit of a down week last week, but
look, that's the 49ers.
Yeah,
notoriously good against the run. Like, you know, I think you load them up every week.
Jamar Chase has been a victim of Joe Burrow, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, just like every other wide receiver with it. Look at Garrett Wilson. Look at DeAndre Hopkins. Look at look at Darren Waller. Even Darren Waller, we know is a great tight end, suffering a bad quarterback play. It's happening to a lot of them. Just Pickens, we know Pickens has talent, suffering because of Kenny Pickett. That's what's going to happen when your quarterback's bad. Rest of the team suffers.
Yeah.
You have to play Jamar Chase, so is the issue. You can't bench him.
Yeah, but see, the value on Jamar Chase is so high. Like, I think, I went into a meltdown when Chubb went down and I lost the first game without him. I was like, right, we need trade. So I went to trade Henry, who's like, that's completely out of character for me. I don't trade the king. But I think at this point, if it was me, team isn't winning and I'm a 0-4, 1-3. I probably wouldn't do it at 2-2, but if I'm 0-4, 1-3, I'm probably saying Jamar Chase's name is big enough. He's not been terrible in the last 2 weeks. I could probably get 2 pieces for Chase and make my team a hell of a lot better.
Jamar Chase is currently the wide receiver 28.
Yeah,
Not
but I
what you
still
bought.
think you get a lot for him either way. I don't think it matters. I think the name value is so high on Chase at the minute that if you have him, like you're not trading him dynasty, but like redraft leagues, if you have him, I wouldn't be hanging on to him much longer. Like I'd
Would you
probably
put
trade. Like if he
Waddle
doesn't have a good week
Kamara
this
together
week,
for Chase?
I'd probably hang to Chase over Waddle. I wouldn't
With
trade for
Kamara
Waddle.
still.
Oh, with Kamara. Sorry. Oh yeah, I take Waddle and Kamara for Chase at the minute. If I was the Chase owner and someone offered me that, I'd be like, yeah, take that. You get two
Yeah,
lads
fair
there
play.
who've got one of them's going to get you what? Waddle between 6 and 12, and Kamara should only get better as the time goes on. So I'd probably take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
T. Higgins has bruised ribs, so he's gone to your bench. I don't think he'll play.
I don't think I'd
Yeah.
play him anyway.
No, I think outside of Chase here, you're kind of struggling until they can get their shit together.
Yeah, Jason Mixon, and you're not really happy about either's performance, but here you got to do it.
Mhm.
Hollywood Brown, then I suppose, is the main question. Like, you can't really bench a man getting you those points, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately, he's scoring you points.
No,
He
but
surely starts it now. Like
Yeah,
he
Bengals
was quite-
defense.
he was very good the last day. He was really good this week. You know, he was getting open a lot, and that's a hard defense to do that on. Like you have to kind of expect him to have a good game here.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks he's had 14, 14, 13 points. It's been
Yeah,
very
I think you could load up him, not a bother, and you could probably load up Wilson as a flex. Like you could probably play the two receivers, which is something we wouldn't have said 2 weeks ago.
No,
not at all. Philadelphia at the Rams.
Before you move on there, Dan, we have another question in the chat there.
No problem. Burrow, would you trade Jefferson, Burrow, Addison for Devontae Adams, Etienne, and Herbert? Oh, I probably would.
no. Not like
Jefferson
that.
is the
Yeah.
killer, right? Isn't it? Jefferson is the killer. But without Jefferson in there, you're talking Burrow 3 points, Addison no points for Devontae. Like I do it, I probably would do it because Adams and Etienne will make you back the Jefferson points, and Herbert is the bonus in that to me. The other, like what you're giving away, what you're getting back, I think that the value is there to give away Jefferson. But it would break my heart to give up JJ.
Yeah, I really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think I'd do that trade.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do it if
All steal, to be honest, like go Jefferson, but yeah, you probably would, but yeah, I wouldn't be happy doing it.
think about it. Look at the two quarterbacks, right? Herbert for Burrow. Herbert is what 25.
Oh no,
plus a week.
I 100% get what you mean. It's just Jefferson. Like it's just so hard to give away. Like isn't it?
Addison has that boom or bust, but he's been bust now 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
Etienne is a solid 8 to 12 point a week guy, and Devontae Adams has already had a 30-point week this year, hasn't he? I think he's already had one big huge week 2.
Yeah, he got banged up this week, but I think he came back into the game pretty handily. So I think I'd be taking the trade.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree.
Philadelphia at the Rams. Like Philadelphia's offense hasn't been clicking on all fronts, really, has it? It's been ticking along all right, but it seems to be a big week from one player every week, and then everyone else is kind of quiet. Saying that you have to play them all, though.
Yeah.
Like you're not benching anyone from the Eagles, are you? Really, like Brown, Smith, Swift, Hurts. You're playing them all. Like
Goddard,
you probably play a lot of players on both sides, really. It's probably one of those games where you can probably load up whoever you kind of want, and they'll all kind of do the job for you.
Yeah, I think you know the guys you're playing, really. You're playing Hurts, Swift, AJ, and Devonta. And then on the other side, Nakua and Kyron Williams are straight up. You might have questions over 2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 could hurt. Yeah. So I don't know. Another
Cooper
one to
Kupp,
watch this week. Yeah. Like if Cup comes back, 2-2, I think is completely toast. He's done. Then like you're not playing him once Cup comes in because Nakua is going to go down as well. Like it's just Higby's had good games last 2 weeks as well, so that's kind of hurt 2-2. But look, if Kyron Williams, he's a hip contusion, I think at the minute they're monitoring that. If Kyron Williams isn't playing and they're going with Rivers in the run, you could probably expect them to throw the ball a bit more, and 2-2 is going to be a bit more active in the game. And Higby's also, I think he's also questionable for the game. Not 100% on that one. Yeah, he's dealing with a thumb injury. So if Higby's not a good to go, and if Williams isn't good to go, I think you load up 2-2. But other than that, I'm probably benching 2-2 for this week.
ETN. So this is the original trade that we had. It was Jefferson, Burrow, Addison for Adams, ETN, and Herbert. Could swap ETN for Jones or Herbert for AR.
Richardson.
Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, Anthony Richardson then is a.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm keeping ETN over Jones anyway. I'd like ETN in that trade rather than Jones. Who would you prefer, Herbert or Richardson?
I'd keep Herbert just for the.
Herbert, yeah.
I'd be worried about Richardson getting injured.
Yeah, that'd be the worry there.
Yeah, like if you're 1-3, you need to make this trade and get some points on the board, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Trade away, buddy.
Yeah, I like the first one. I think the first one just you're getting so much back for two lads. Like Burrow could go on and explode if he gets healthy at some point. He could be 20, 30 points a week. So, but look, you're giving it up to get better now and not worry about what he's going to do down the line. Addison, unless there's an injury, I don't think Addison is going to be particularly productive. So you should get two players back for Justin Jefferson, even if one of them is Devontae Adams. I still believe Justin Jefferson's worth 2.
Matthew Stafford in this game against the Eagles. Like, is there a situation where you could look his way?
No.
Look,
no,
5 weeks, yeah.
No, he's not been playing well. Like, even with how well Nakua and Apple and the receivers have been playing, he's not doing well for fantasy. And if anything, Nakua's upside's probably gone down here with the Eagles defense. Like, just don't play him. Like, it's just, I don't think he's playable. Personally.
And then Cooper Kupp, if he's back, goes straight back in, yeah?
Yeah, I think you have to, yeah. He was a first round pick, you got done with him after you picked him up 2 days, 3 days, but what was it? 3 days we drafted before the start of the season, or 4 or something, and he done you like the following day.
It wasn't even the following day. It was like 2 rounds later the news dropped. He was injured. Freaking out.
Awful.
Anyway, Jets at Denver.
We have another question in the.
So we can get to the question now. We'll just leave this play in the background for both the Jets and Denver. Would you trade A-Chain and Ford for Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No.
No,
I wouldn't trade.
I just wouldn't trade Achan.
no.
Achan even, sorry.
I couldn't trade him now.
For Amon-Ra, though. Amon-Ra's so good. Like,
I love Amon-Ra, man. He's one of my 2 boys. I love him, but it's not happening. Achan is an absolute star in the making. There's no way I'm trading him.
yeah, I'd struggle to trade Achan for St. Brown, to be honest, straight up.
Like,
But
if
he
you're
would need
you'd want to be super healthy at running back to be saying I'll trade Achan. Like, if you're super healthy at running back, like you're a CMC owner, Derrick Henry owner, you've got Josh Jacobs coming good now or something, or if you've got like CMC, ETN, and Kamara, say, now playing, and you're saying, right, I have 3 solid running backs, maybe even a Montgomery there or a Swift or something. I can afford to move Achane. Then I do it. But only if I'm super healthy at running back. Like, they gotta be absolute studs, at least 3 of them, before I'm getting rid of Achane.
Jamie?
No, firmly agree. You're not letting him go. Not this level.
I'd agree as well. I think just roll with Achane. Never going to get
Whatever your name is.
back to the Jets at Denver. Fire up the Jets, but which ones do you want to fire up? Shane, who do you want to fire up? Just Garrett Wilson? Are you going back to Brees?
Well, if it was me and he was on my team, yes.
That's different.
Because the running back room is literally Derrick Henry at the minute. Latavius Murray showed up this week, but yeah, I look, Brees Hall, I'm probably, if you have him, you're probably playing him. You drafted him high enough. He's probably going into your team reluctantly going in, but he should be like a flex option for you or a bench. Like, it's not been pretty. It's hard to run the ball when they know you can't throw it. You know?
Fair point.
Yeah. It's a bit of a sick matchup, really, isn't it?
There's very little I don't want to play any Denver wide receivers because of the Jets matchup. I don't really want to go back to the Jets running backs because they've been bad. It feels like it's just Garrett Wilson and that's that. Like, Javonte is injured. Are you picking up this? What's his name? The Denver
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
I am personally not. I'm going to go Herbert. That's going to be my number 1 pickup off the waiver wire this week for the running backs. I do expect him to come off the waivers this week because Javonte looks like he's going to be out for about 4 weeks, I think is what the report was. So they don't seem to like P. Ryan. Guess McLaughlin's going to be the new number 1 guy there for at least 3 to 4 weeks. So I expect him to come off waivers this week.
You could throw in Tyler Conklin as a very, very deep stream tight end position.
No.
They don't cover the tight ends.
He didn't have a bad week either. 8-point week this week. He didn't have a bad week.
How big is that carousel? Jesus Christ.
You would have to hold back the vomit as you put Conklin into your lineup, but you could do it. The system allows you to do it. Question. I have Dak and Watson, but thinking of swapping one of them out for Stroud off waivers. I have CD for a potential stack with Dak and Kyler stashed on IR. This seems very similar to my team. Well, PPR 1 QB. I like having the stack of Dak there with CD because you can just maximize points. I don't like having Deshaun Watson on my team. I would prefer to have Stroud on it purely because I don't think Watson's that good a quarterback anymore. I know he had a couple of okay fantasy weeks, but I just don't think his actual play is that good. So I would be dropping Watson and getting Stroud off the waivers.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. I think you want Stroud at this point. I think Stroud could be a big waiver pickup this week as well. I think a lot of people are probably going to try and stash him on the bench.
I think if you're picking up Stroud at this point, you're probably picking him up to play him. Like Burrow owners, if you're a Burrow owner, man, you should be straight in on Stroud now. Like that, if he's available in your league and you have Joe Burrow, I'd be going after CJ Stroud right now. And I think with Dak and Watson thing, I would definitely drop Watson over Dak because Dak's defense has scored so much in the first 4 weeks. Like they're number 1 in takeaways this year. I think they're number 1 in defensive scores. So Dak hasn't had to do the work yet, but there's going to come a couple of games where that defense just isn't going to do that, and Dak's going to show up big because that offense is so explosive. It's going to happen. Like,
Would you take a dirty stream at quarterback this week with Zach Wilson playing the worst defense in football?
God no.
No.
God no.
Just had to say it. Kansas City
God,
at Minnesota. I don't understand Minnesota. I just really don't get them. Just as like a state.
Fair enough.
Is Minnesota a state? No.
Yes.
Minneapolis. Is that the state?
Minneapolis.
We're
No, I
terrible.
don't.
No,
Yeah,
Minnesota-
yeah.
No. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Minnesota is the state, isn't it? Minneapolis,
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Minnesota's
yeah.
the state. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Rob.
Two you
Good
dickheads
job.
have me confused for a second.
You were also confused. Like,
Patrick Mahomes, straight up, there's no real question. He had a bad week last week, but you're never benching him. You've drafted him.
Mhm.
Kirk Cousins, he didn't kill you. Well, he didn't. Yeah, he kind of killed you. He dropped from like the quarterback 1 to the quarterback 7 after that bad week. So,
Jesus.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kirk
Kirk
Cousins.
Cousins.
we have in the chat. Minnesota is a state.
Yeah,
Thank you. We
Yeah,
are not
thank-
good at geography.
Thank you. Welcome, Sarah. Appreciate
As
it.
you can tell by the accents, we're not very good at the American geography, but we can talk about the football. CMC and Derrick Henry in an 8-man PPR, pretty weak at wide receiver. I took Garrett early and traded him for Cooper after Rodgers got hurt. Wondering if we should trade Henry for Puka Cup.
Oh,
no,
Shane's gonna say no now, but
no, but I wouldn't trade him for Puka anyway or Cup because I don't know what way that offense is going to look once Cup comes back. It's too volatile of a situation for me to say I'm going to give up an absolute dominant running back and Derrick Henry for one of those two guys. Like if Cup was healthy the whole time and Puka had this production, I'd say, yeah, by all means, look, if you're dire need of a wide receiver, go get Puka, give up Henry. Happy. But you could go out and surely get someone else for Henry. Like Henry's value is still got to be skyrocket high now. Like
I'd probably trade Cup for Henry. Like I'd trade away Henry to get Cup.
I just
I
don't
don't
know.
think
Could I
so.
do it?
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming back to me. Like I said this, I think like week 2, like with that hamstring issue, it came on all of a sudden. They don't know how bad it is, how good it is. They're after opening up the window for him to come back. He could play 10 downs and be back out injured again with a hamstring. Like I don't think I want to take that risk on Cup.
yeah, I think I agree. But if you're really badly stuck wide receiver, it could be an option. But it depends who your running backs are too. Like,
He had CMC there. That's the only reason you could even look to think move Derrick
oh
Henry.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I think you probably did the chance.
Should I trade Sutton and Mostert for Rashad White and Thielen? No, I wouldn't trade Sutton and Mostert for Rashad White and Thielen.
No, but I would try and offload Mostert at some point.
Yeah, I'd say you could probably still sell Mostert pretty high.
Mm.
As long as he has some bit of a decent week this week, I think the value is still going to be very high on Mostert.
Yeah, it's hard to know with Mostert. I just think that Miami offense will just give you loads of points. Even with him, I think it'll just turn into 50-50.
But like going back to the other trade there, like, do you think you could would you give up Derrick Henry for an AJ Brown maybe and Gabe Davis or Marquise Brown? Like, do you think you could I think you could probably offload Henry for an AJ Brown and probably one other wide receiver.
I think you'd struggle to get AJ Brown on his own for Derrick Henry.
Think so? What about going in for then the likes of Brandon Ayuk, someone who's had a fantastic year so far? Would you go for a Brandon Ayuk and maybe a Nico Collins or Marquise Brown?
If you could package Ayuk with a Nico Collins or a Marquise Brown, then yeah, fair enough. I'd want two players of that standard for Henry.
Yeah, because I think that's the move I would make. I don't think I'd go all out for Like who did he say there? Puka or Cup? I don't think I'd go for that because I think just Puka, his natural regression when Cup comes in is going to happen, and I don't think Puka is going to become irrelevant. Which means when Cup comes in, I don't think Cup is going to have the 30-point weeks and 25-point weeks he was having consistently last year. I think they both end up at that 20 to 15-point range. And I think why would you trade Henry for that then anyway? Because Henry is capable of a 40, 20-point week anywhere in around there every week. So it just doesn't make sense to me to trade that upside away for something that you don't know what you're getting back in return once Cup comes back into the fold. Do you get me? That's why I'm so out on that.
Yeah.
He added Moss off waivers, so he has Moss there sitting. It's just Moss has that Jonathan Taylor problem. I know Taylor said that he doesn't want to play for the Colts, but I give that a couple of days and just see. You never really know what's going to happen the next couple of days with Jonathan Taylor. He could be a Packer by the end of the week for all we know.
Imagine.
They were heavy in for him in the last trade, the last attempt at the trade.
They were trying to take Christopher Watson off us, and we don't know. It's the only wide receiver we have.
Straight up, no. Pacheco in the Kansas City game. You're going to play Pacheco after the big week. The Minnesota running backs. No thanks.
You will probably still play Madison. Like he's been there.
2-6 there, boys. Sorry, 2-6.
No problem.
Yeah, I think like Madison probably a guy you should probably play away. He hasn't really hurt you.
The Kansas City wide receivers, there's nothing there that we're interested in looking at. And then Jefferson's a straight up play, but Jordan Addison goose egged you. Do you have the stones to go straight back, or are you going to put him on the bench for a week against this Kansas City defense? It's pretty good.
Yeah. When people goose egg you like that, you just don't really want to play him anymore, do you? That's kind of it. That's it. You see how you do to them for the week. Other than that.
So back to this trade. I could trade for Collins and Ayuk. The guy who wants Henry. So your literal trade you throw out is there, Shane. Collins and Ayuk.
Yeah, Collins and Ayuk to the guy who wants Henry has both. Yeah, I do that. Like Debo, I think.
Yes, Debo. Like you can't put Debo and Ayuk on one roster.
Well, I trade out Debo because Ayuk is the favorite receiver there of Brock Purdy. I don't think anyone could question that. I think Debo has gone back for me for the simple fact that Purdy and Ayuk seem to just have a connection. But Debo's name value is high enough. I think you could trade. Like, do you think you could move Debo then for an ETN?
I wouldn't say so, would you? He's not
Not
that high, like. Maybe last week. I don't think anyone would take him this week. You're kind of banking on him kind of having a big week this week.
Well, what about a Dameon Pierce then? Debo for Dameon Pierce. I think you get one of the two of them done with a Debo. That is what I would do with that roster. I'd take Collins and Ayuk, two guys who are going to be consistently 12 and above points for Henry, and then I would shove Debo on for ETN or Pierce, who can be consistent backup, and that actually takes away your need of having to play Moss. If you move Debo, then you have a more consistent running back coming in instead of an stable situation with Moss if Taylor comes back in. That'll be my plan with that roster. What I've been shown.
Well, why don't you take Debo and try and get James Conner?
Well, yeah, 100%. I think you definitely move Debo for James Conner, and I would take James Conner. I think he's consistent enough to come in and do a job for you there.
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, 100% do that.
Maybe try and do the Debo part first, though, before you go and do the Ayuk part, in case you get stuck.
Maybe, yeah.
No, I don't think so, man. I think you'll easily move Debo. Surely you'll move Debo for a running back.
Should I trade CD and KW3 for Chase and Monty? I'm going to need more names here. Who's Monty?
Kenny Walker and Montgomery.
Chase and Montgomery for CD and Kenny Walker.
No, I'm not doing that.
Don't think right now, no. I don't think you've watched enough say with Chase at the moment. Like,
yeah, Monty's hitting mad numbers. Like he hit mad numbers this week, but like Kenny Walker is absolutely smashing it for you at the minute. Like he's not killing you, and he's just like, what is he, 17 points the last 2 weeks run or something? Like he's playing really well, and CD's playing really well. I wouldn't be trading either of the two of them. Not for Chase. Chase is struggling with his quarterback issues, and Monty could be a week away from getting benched every week. We don't know what's happening with Gibbs there.
Yeah, Monty's not getting benched for Gibbs.
No, he's not. No, but you know what I mean. Like,
The tight ends in the Kansas City and Minnesota game, you're playing them both. Travis Kelce, Hawkinson, straight in.
Mm-hmm.
Then that brings us to Dallas at San Francisco. This game should be a nice little Sunday evening game to get. Well, we're not going to see it, but you'll get to see it Monday morning, Shane.
why will I get to see it Monday morning? I gotta go to work, man.
It's on Monday morning.
Yeah, 1:20. Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy. I don't think you're playing either, really, are you?
No.
Well, Purdy's not hurting you. I think we could probably play Purdy.
What's the over/under in this game? It must be quite low, surely.
I don't know. Two really good offenses, two really good defenses. The over/under is going to be a nightmare to back.
I don't think the Cowboys' offense is outstanding, Shane.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. But struggled in the red zone, but like they move the ball up and down the pitch handy enough. It's just one sticking into the red zone. They struggle to score.
Let's get the over/under here. It is a 45-point over/under, middle of the pack, kind of.
It's I don't know. I don't think. I think fantasy wise, I think you're loading up everyone outside of the quarterbacks. Maybe
Yeah, I agree
not
with that.
Kittle. Kittle is maybe the only tight end maybe out of the whole lot. Like even the kickers, you're loading up the kickers here as well. They're outstanding. 2 rookie kickers.
See, I hate the 49ers players purely because, like, one of them is going to suffer. Always one of them will suffer, and it's not going to be CMC.
No, but like that. Look, Brandon Ayuk to me is the guy for the wide receivers now. I don't think there's like Debo's been good weeks 2 and 3, but outside of that, Debo hasn't been fantastic. And last week he absolutely killed you. Like
He was injured though.
Yeah.
killed you still. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, Fireboot. He was great last week. Killed me this week though. But he was injured. Yeah, but he still fucking killed you."
Lost limb will not excuse you.
Yeah, I think that's the first time you played that in the right position.
I wouldn't give up on Debo that quick. You know, yeah, I know he wasn't, but I wouldn't say he wasn't great. He was completely shite, but like he's going to come good. Like there's enough in that offense, I think, that you're gonna chug away at him.
The boy
Yeah,
could-
no, I wouldn't say he's down and out either. Like he's just a bad week. Just it's going, as Dan said, it's going to happen in that 49ers offense.
Could be a great time to trade for him. You know, the owner might be down them. Take him on if you need a wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receivers where I'm kind of happy at the minute. It's running backs. I only have one. I could use a running back.
wasn't
Maybe
talking
just more
about
running backs
you.
would be good.
Shane just has running backs on the mind at this stage. It's just like twitch. Running back. Run for it.
It's so painful.
Green Bay at Las Vegas. This is your Monday Night Football. Josh Jacobs is straight back in anyway because he's shown you something now. So if you stuck with him this week, he rewarded you. But Aaron Jones on the other side, he did not do you many favors if you played him on Thursday Night Football last week.
Well, he was injured too, to be fair. So.
Hang on, I've got a drop for this, Jane. No, I'm not going to play it. Go on.
Yeah, so like I don't think you give up on Jones that quick. You know, like once he's back to full fitness, he's going to be the Aaron Jones you drafted him to be. Like I think he'd be fine.
Glowing praise.
Yeah.
There's a small bit of hope in that too, since he's my running back.
Yeah, look, I think Jones will be fine. He's had that extra couple of days. The fact that they did play on the Thursday, you would hope that the hamstring issue is healed up and he's good to go. Especially then he's got the long break to Monday night as well. Like he's getting the extra day as well.
Yeah, because before he got injured, he was like, I know it was the Bears, but like he had a massive game. Like,
yeah.
Just to hop in with this question quick, would you trade James Cook, Tyler Lockett, James Conner, and Tajay Spear for Joe Mixon, Zach Moss, and Mari Cooper, and Jordan Addison in a full PPR 14-man? No, not in a million.
God, no.
Never do that, no.
No.
I love the picture though. Shaq is Thanos as well. That's a fantastic picture.
Another one quickly there. I have Burrow and Daniel Jones. Should I pick up Howell, Wilson, or Dobbs? I don't feel like I can trust either of them. Jesus, no, you can't trust either of them.
That would be fair, yeah. You probably say Dobbs is the best quarterback out of them all, though, which is nothing to say.
Wilson had a big week, but he was playing against a terrible defense. Who did Denver have again this week?
Denver have the Jets this week.
Yeah, no, I jump in on Dobbs. So against the Bengals,
the list of names like that, and we're saying Dobbs is fantasy football is a cruel game. It is Dobbs though, like it really is. Like,
oh yeah, he's the best option there out of all, definitely. Like, there's no question about it.
Cut Daniel Jones and pick up Dobbs. Keep Burrow on your bench. Just like when Burrow's injury rides out, fair enough. But
I think both his quarterbacks this week combined got him 6 points.
Cruel world. Sorry, we're on the last game here. So Green Bay at Las Vegas. We talked about Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones. The wide receivers then. What is the story of Watson? Like, where is he? Like, did he play? He did play this week.
He did play. Come back. He's fine.
Decent game.
Yeah.
Nothing special. That 9 points.
I think you're happy enough with him. I think you're happy enough you haven't got 8 points on the return from the injury. Like it's only going to get better. Like he's clearly the number one there.
He only played 46% of the snaps, so
he was on a snap count.
Yeah, get that up to about 60. Shouldn't be too bad. Doobs. He's going to be on my bench, so he will probably score some points this week.
Hey, number 17 wide receiver in the year.
Do you want to trade for him?
No.
No, because you're going to drop him in like 2 weeks.
I'm actually not. It's just he's not getting anywhere near my roster, but like I'm not going to drop him either. Is the problem?
You're definitely dropping him because he's on a bye in 2 weeks. So you're going to drop him, and someone else is going to have him, and you're going to be like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to worry about that headache anymore."
Yeah, I have such headaches. I can't decide between Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, or Dobbs. Humble brags. You want a running back, Shane?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll take a running back. Yeah.
Well, I think I cut Herbert and I cut Dalvin Cook in the last couple of weeks. So
yeah,
fight for
Jamie has Dalvin Cook, and I'm about to have Herbert.
Are you playing Dobbs then, or what are you going to do with him?
Doobs, yeah, I probably would flex Doobs this week. Yeah, coming in against Vegas, they haven't been particularly good on defense.
Yeah, I think it's playable. Yeah.
Devontae Adams, you're putting him straight back in. Jacoby Myers.
That depends on the quarterback, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is very much dependent on whether Jimmy plays, isn't it?
Yeah, if Jimmy G's playing, you're firing up Myers. I think that's he's going to be an auto start. I think once Jimmy G's a regular. Like what two games with Jimmy G was it? 24 points and then 12 points. He didn't even kill you. Decent wide receiver too.
Quick question before we finish up. Offered Lamb for Puka. I have Cup. Do I sell immediately? Yeah. If you were offered Lamb, if you're getting Lamb, then yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade Lamb away for Puka, especially when you have Cup.
Yeah. If you have Cup, especially, I didn't even read the last part. Yeah, if you have Cup, sell Puka now for Lamb.
Why is
Diversity
someone sending
is
you a
key.
trade offer of Lamb for Puka though? Like that seems madness to me.
Yeah, like if it was like a running back for Puka, because they were really struggling at wide receiver, but giving up your best wide receiver for Puka makes no sense.
No.
Mike has a good point here. Dobbs is the new Fitzmagic.
I'm not ready to go that far yet, man. I'm not ready to go that far yet. Some magical
problem is-
moments there, like
See, problem is Dobbs can't grow the chest hair that Fitz.
he've alopecia.
Oh, sorry, I did have to come back here to Musgrave at the Green Bay tight end position. Are you playing Musgrave? I think you probably are, aren't you? You're just waiting for the connection to happen now.
Yeah, he's definitely on the carousel.
It was a bad week
Yeah, I
last
think
week. Go back.
Yeah, I think after the bad week, I think I jumped straight back on just for the simple fact that he seems like he's going to be one good week, one bad week, one good week, one bad week. It's kind of the way it's shaped up the first 4 weeks. So he's due a good one this week.
I'm reading the only reason he had a bad week is because he went out for a concussion. I didn't see that during the game.
No, me either.
Jamie, you're the resident Packer fan. You should have told us this.
Yeah.
I did not see that. It was in my defense, it was on a Thursday night. Like I didn't get to watch it on Friday.
I didn't see it in your newsletter on the Friday morning at all. I think that finishes up there. That was a nice handy show under 2 hours for a change. Well, it was under 2 hours last week as well. So we're getting into full season form at this stage.
Yeah. Waiting for the trade deadline to kick in, and then it'll be a 20-minute show.
No more trade questions.
Yeah.
All right, that leads us on the way out then. Thanks to everyone for listening. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow on X at IF Punts. Jamie, Shane, goodbye.
Good night, lads.
See you.